Welcome to Just Koryzma, episode 33, the first episode of 2019. I'm your host, Braden Koryzma, and joining me today is Toby Parnell.
Hello.
How you, how you doing, man?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good. Pretty tired, but ready to keep going.
2019, I feel popular in the first one.
It's 2019 already, and it's already going downhill.
Oh, start at the bottom. We can only work up from here.
That's right.
We got this.
So Toby, he's taking the business degree and he's majoring in finance. So that's really cool. Like
a lot of numbers.
A lot of numbers, yeah. So why did you choose to major in finance over the other stuff?
Well, I originally went into the business program with kind of an open mind, really down for anything, I guess. Okay. Of course, there's the marketing and management stuff that's pretty straightforward things, but super interesting and still in the same. And then finance, I just like knowing how money flows or how it works. It's accounting is kind of keeping track of everything, where finance is kind of you get a little bit more in depth in it. Just this past semester, is I did a retirement planning course, and it's kind of interesting, kind of planning for that point in your life. Obviously, we're only in our 20s, but it's something that you can still kind of work towards then. I don't know, I just kind of find it interesting, and how people spend money. Okay. Not everybody, some people are really good savers, some really good spenders, or not really good spenders, but they spend a lot of money.
For sure.
It's just interesting. I just found it all kind of interesting.
Okay.
Nothing in particular, but.
So what was it like building a retirement plan? Is it kind of cool? Is it cool in the sense of do you build it as in from the perspective of if you started saving now, or do you build it
For ours, it was somebody, I believe, they were 30 or 35. It was kind of good few years from now. So kind of when you start thinking about it, most people would start thinking about it kind of thing. But yeah, it's just interesting to see how people, for ours, it was obviously a made up scenario, but the save is kind of pretty realistic, what you'd have in your savings. Do you have anything invested or anything like that?
Right.
You don't really find out anything about, or investing, depending if you really look into it. A lot of people won't really do anything like that till they're around their 30s or something.
So they're just trying to help get themselves ahead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then there's a bunch of things you can do, and it just really depends. I don't know. I'd say around that age, but a lot of people are getting a lot more wiser with their money, I find. More people are getting educated. Yeah, I guess. So you kind of learn these things and you're around these people, and a lot of people want to be a little bit more careful with their money and stuff like that. So with all the ways you can lose it nowadays,
it's so easy. It's a pair of pants is $70. It's God damn.
Yeah, don't even get me started on the cost of living. Talk about it.
The cost of living is just ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly, and everybody's just looking for any help they can get to, right?
Totally.
A lot of people, with all the people that are going out and getting, say, a finance degree, there's all those people who are, say, working the trades and stuff like that. They're not going to know all of this, and they want to learn.
Yeah, so. It's hard to get the time, and not everyone knows a finance guy, or not everyone is willing to go. I mean, not that they're not willing to look online, but you're also not too sure if it's the right information.
Yeah, that's a big. I find that's a big thing. If you're not, you have to have the right sources, but if you don't, like you said, if you don't know where to look, then how do you know if it's the right thing or not? And a lot of people are kind of hesitant. Well, not a lot of people, I don't say a lot of people, but some people are hesitant with their money. They don't want to really give it to somebody to go invest into something that they don't really know and exactly all the things that happen with their money and stuff like that. It's why did I lose money this year? Kind of so on and so forth. Yeah. It's it depends on the situation, but I enjoy it so far, so I can't really complain.
That's cool. So what's your favorite class?
Favorite class?
Not necessarily this year, but you've had in general, in terms of financing.
Probably the first, it would have been last year, one of the first actual financial planning courses. Okay. It kind of put me and steered me in that direction, because there's multiple things you can do with finance. You could just be in the services, or obviously a financial planner where you're helping people set up for the future and so on and so forth. But I had a really good teacher, James Harding. Or Waring. What am I saying? I'm getting all my teachers mixed up. But it's crazy how a prof, or even I find in most things in school, you might have had the same thing. If a person's willing to teach it and putting their effort into teaching it, makes it way more interesting. Totally. Definitely a teacher that did that for me, and then kind of opened up the door to that, and it's makes you think more about it. So
Yeah, when they go in like with a bunch of enthusiasm, it definitely like, even if you're not a big fan of the class, it definitely doesn't make, it makes the class like more tolerable, I guess, in the sense. So it's like you don't like, you're like, oh, like you start paying attention more, you start enjoying it more because he wants you to enjoy it, he wants you to learn.
Yeah. Well, it's more willingness to learn. Like, true. Even if it's something you don't like, you'll put the effort in if the teacher's putting the effort in for you, right? It's like with some, like not all profs are like that. But some are just like cut and dry, here's some stuff, and then
go at it.
More, you're gonna benefit more from someone who actually cares. Yeah. Or like has lived that. I guess that's what their job or they worked as that. They kind of give you more out of it, right?
Totally.
More real life stuff, I guess, would be more the accurate phrasing for that.
Okay, that's really cool. I mean, there's nothing. I mean, like that was one of the things I wish like we learned in high school was like more things on like budgeting and all that kind of like financial stuff. Mm-hmm. I learned a bit, but it wasn't like.
It's pretty small what you do. Well, even a lot of the high school in general, a lot of the stuff that you learn, like say if you're going like business or even trades, like you don't really learn a lot about trades. Like you might have that one woodworking class. Or
that's basically like woodworking auto shop or whatever. Yeah, like it's like
if you happen to be at the right school though.
Totally, right? Like not every school offers it. Mm-hmm. So you get it's pretty limited. So I mean,
like I think I don't know how it was for you, but we had one planning 10 class. It was like in the middle of your high school. Yep. And then you'd have that one class, and it kind of sort of teach you about some stuff, like very vaguely touch on it. Like it wouldn't, even if they had that class and it taught you how to apply to university, it would help so many people.
Oh, totally. Right? Like,
just that, like even just that would help so many people. Like I remember going into it, I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
Like, I got to go get these transcripts from over here, and I don't know what's happening. Like, literally. Like, just all these little things, even like you said, like a little budgeting one. It doesn't have to be complicated.
No, like just teach them how to like budget for rent, groceries, like normal.
Yeah,
like regular
really
things,
straightforward. Right? But no, we got to learn about. Like, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with like obviously you want to know English and stuff like that. But
for sure,
a lot of high school kids don't really care about Romeo and Juliet.
No.
Like if you really have a passion for that, that's something you'll pursue after high school.
Totally.
It's just the basics would be more of the basics would be nice to see, but
yeah,
I don't know if that's ever gonna happen. So.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. But to each their own, right? Like it works, but it just would have been nice to even one class just to kind of go over the broad spectrum of what you'd be looking at after high school.
100%.
It's very cut and dry, I guess, like you said, or like I said before, it's just they don't give you a lot on it. Just a little bit more would even help it go so far, just for a little bit more of information and stuff like that.
Totally.
Personally, I found for myself.
I saw this meme today. It was like, you know, the American Chopper ones where it's like the senior and then the juniors like throw in a chair and stuff. It was like school system. It's like A squared plus B squared plus C squared. It's like, show me how to like budget, and then it's like talking about Christopher Columbus sailing in like 1945, and he's like, show me how to make a doctor's appointment. And it was, I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, no, but that's pretty good. But even like say with that, even your like your T4s and stuff like that, like I had no idea what I was doing. When I first like looked at it, or even who I should go to and talk to about doing a T4. Like obviously it's pretty well known now because they do it so much, but when I was first doing it, it's like, well, do I do it myself? Do I go take it to somebody?
Literally, like for taxes and everything. It's just like, and then there's people who do them themselves. If you like go to like, and it's like then you go to like H&R Block, but then everyone's like, and then
you gotta pay a fee.
You gotta pay
your own money back.
It's like, do you want to wait or do you want it now? It's like, well,
you're 18, right out of high school. I want it now, please.
Literally. So I mean, like, yeah, like, it's definitely like finances are definitely like one of the bigger struggles I think in society, just because like no one's aware.
Yeah, well, I always like this saying. It's like torn, or it's like another meme, but it's like I remember when $20 was like felt like $100 when you were a kid. And you're like, oh my god, I have $20.
Literally, yeah.
And now $100 feels like it's like $5.
$5. You're like this will disappear in like 3 seconds. Like,
yeah, literally, it's just crazy. It's just a little bit more insight.
Totally.
It doesn't even have. I know most kids would probably go in one year out the other because I was definitely one of those kids. But like, even to have like something to show that I could look back on later.
Yeah, totally.
It kind of gives you guidelines for it, but.
So then, was there like any sort of like budgeting classes? Not necessarily just for like retirement plans, or is there anything?
There are some in third, fourth year classes, but I haven't gone through those yet. That'll be my next year.
Nice. Okay.
But there are some that but it's more, I think they take it more from like a business side.
Okay.
But you can kind of apply it to yourself.
Of course, yeah.
Right? Well, it's the same with the retirement plans. You're treating it from a special case, but like you can take that and apply it to yourself.
Yeah, it's a hypothetical situation, and then you're just like, okay, well, I'm not 35, but here I am. Like,
well, it's not always going to be the perfect circumstances either, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not going to be given. Not everybody's going to have this and $10,000 invested over here.
Totally right.
Who's really going to have that kind of money unless?
Yeah, most people probably have like X amount in the bank, like, and they'll be like, most people live check to check, right? Yeah. So it's like, that'd be kind of cool. Did they ever show you any examples like that kind of thing, or?
Not really. They kind of try to get you the basics of it for the most part, so you kind of take it from somebody who has all these, like, has something here, money in the savings.
Right. So then there's just, I guess, more to account for.
Yeah. So like you're getting a better understanding. There's more to work through.
Yeah.
Where, like, obviously if someone has less stuff, there's less to go through, but then it's more thinking of how can I get this person
from here to like here.
Yeah, like to paycheck to paycheck to a little bit more comfortable where they can spend a little bit of money here and there kind of thing, right?
Totally.
It depends. There's a lot of different ways you can do stuff like that, but it's been an hour talking, or multiple hours talking about that.
So then with your finance degree, what do you plan on doing with it?
Ideally would be, I'd love to get a job in town.
Okay.
As much as everybody seems to hate Nanaimo for some reason.
I don't know why. I actually really like the Nanaimo.
Yeah, like me personally coming from Toronto, or just outside Toronto, where there's so many people, this is a treat. There's not that many, well, obviously there's more people now, but when I first moved here, it was like it seemed like a desert town, but there's a bunch of people here. Like, what was I going to say here? I'd like to keep a job in Nanaimo, but realistically, I'd probably end up going to Vancouver and seeing a firm there or somewhere like that, or Victoria, depending how it works out. Obviously, if the timing's right, I can get something here. That would be ideal.
For sure.
If I gotta go away for a bit and then come back, I can live with that.
Yeah.
I'm young enough. I can do that.
And it's not a forever thing, right? Like it's just like a for now thing.
Well, it's to get the experience, though, right? Like,
that too.
You can say that with most jobs, like, oh, you need the experience. It's like, but I can only get the experience if you give me the job.
Exactly, but I want you to have the experience. Well, give me the job, but show up with experience.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of, because, like Parksville and Qualicum, there's a lot of, like, the senior population here. So they want a lot of people with that experience to kind of keep them comfortable and stuff like that.
Right.
And there's a lot of the older population on the island. It's just nothing. So it's just, you want more of the experienced people kind of dealing with that would be a fair assessment, which is understandable. I'm not going to argue that. I don't want to be dealing with somebody's finances who's looking to retire right now.
Oh, totally.
Like, first thing, like, if you do anything, or if you happen to do it wrong, then you mess up and so on and so forth, right? And then they don't have the money you thought they'd have. And
it's like a whole ordeal.
Yeah, and I don't, like, you don't want to help people. You don't want to make it worse for them or cause a big grief or anything like that. Right?
Totally right. Like most people already have enough stress in life, and
you want to help them. You don't want to be like, there's a problem.
Yeah, really, you're not here. You're here.
Or I don't know what happened.
I think I fell asleep. I don't know what happened. I blacked out. Yeah,
but it's just like the mainland just has more jobs too. There's just more opportunities there. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately. Unfortunately, if you don't like being around a lot of people. Yeah. But it's bearable. I'd rather that than Toronto. Yeah. Personally.
Fair enough. But this is the part of the show called the motivational moment, Toby.
Oh gosh.
So, what is your passion in 5 words or less?
Passion in 5 words or less? If I had to pick anything, it would be confidence is key. For me personally, even coming onto this show, like I was talking about earlier, like I'm pretty, not self-centered, but I'm kind of like my little bubble. Yeah. I won't step out of it a lot of the time. And even something like this, even being recorded and stuff like that, it's stepping out of my bubble for the most part. Like, people are going to be watching this, and like I always got that thing in the back of my head, people, I don't know how they're going to react to it, so on and so forth. But it's just kind of putting your foot out the door and just kind of going with it, right? Totally. Honestly, setting up the time for us to do it, I was like, just got to go with it. And confidence means some. Obviously, you don't want to be cocky. Or that, totally, but, confident what you can do. I can talk. sometimes I ramble. I'll admit I ramble a lot. But it's just kind of doing it, going for it. That's even me with traveling. I think after school, just kind of go for it because you're comfortable at home.
Yeah, totally, right?
Or even, I'm not going to say moving out because it's just for like rent purposes and like I don't have the money for that right now, but just like stepping outside of the comfort zone.
Totally. It's a huge step, right? Like for a lot of people, like even when I was never super confident. I was pretty social, but I was never confident. And then like when I took my first trip, when I traveled outside of Canada for the first time, I did it by myself. It was like, it's a big step for me. I was just like, I was excited, but I was like super nervous because like what do you don't expect.
Yeah, well, it's just the experiences with that as well, right? Like,
totally.
Learn a lot about yourself, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Or I could imagine. I haven't done it yet, but...
You'll get there, like...
Yeah, well, even going to, like, Vancouver's a pretty minute version of it, but just going without, like, the security. I guess, like, when you're younger, you have your parents with you. And stuff.
Totally right, and everything's under control, and if something gets out of control, you know they're gonna fix the problem, right? Like, totally, like...
More responsibilities.
Totally.
But, like... It's easy to maintain, you just gotta keep a cool head about it. I find getting mad does not make it easy.
Yeah. And you don't wanna like just like you don't wanna keep your composure, you know, you don't wanna get like start freaking out and then like all the anxiety and all the stress will just come rushing up and you'll be like you're just gonna explode, like
just makes it worse.
It totally makes it worse.
Like I've had some times where just getting mad just doesn't fix the problem. You think it will? It's like when I guess a guy thing, you think if you hit it a couple times it'll work, it'll start working again? Yeah, no, it doesn't.
Well, if you can't fix it, it's not broken, right? So
exactly.
But yeah, totally, like some people think yelling and screaming might help. Sometimes it really doesn't.
Yeah.
Unless it's on like your PlayStation or Xbox, you know, that it's just like you're yelling at your TV and then you just like realize that you kind of sound stupid but like you feel better because sometimes you just need to scream.
Yeah, I've done that a few times.
Me too.
Just catch yourself mid-yell. You're like, why am I doing this right now?
Every time I die in Fortnite, you know?
It's his problem. Why are you yelling? I don't know why I'm yelling.
I don't know, but it feels good. I'm not even mad.
I feel bad for the other people who are on the other end of the microphone that have to hear me yell. Or something, if I get mad, it's like, oh, I'm sorry.
That's why I just never play with anybody. Lone wolf.
No, that's fair. It's a good way to do it, but...
Yeah. And then the people in the house just have to deal with my problems. Just have to deal with me yelling.
Yeah, I've had my fair share of parents asking me why I'm yelling at a video game. And
yep, I've been there.
It's like, I don't know. I really don't know. I wish I could tell you, but I don't know.
It's like, it feels good.
Yeah, just getting mad at little. But I want to say that's part of like competitive. You played like any sport, you kind of treat it like that.
Totally.
But probably not the smartest thing to be yelling online at strangers that don't even know who you are. But
they're fine. As long as you don't make them cry or anything.
Yeah.
Or just like, mute your mic.
Yeah, I've gotten really good at that actually.
Really fast.
No's happening, turn off.
But with your motivational words here, are you gonna since you the confidence of it coming to the show, you think you'll be able to apply that to more things going forward?
Most definitely. For me, this is I think the big step would be obviously traveling, going somewhere where you haven't been before and a whole new place. But something like this is a small step into kind of where I want to be, or a little bit more comfortable around people. Majority of the time I'll just be sit pretty quiet. If it's people I don't know, I'll be pretty quiet. I'm not outspoken or anything like that. Don't want to cause any drama.
For sure, right?
But even work in retail, same sort of thing. It really helped me kind of
definitely
step out. If I was to do this, not working at Sport for how long I worked at Sport Check, I'd be very, very quiet. And very not talkative, but just little things like that just kind of push you to be a little bit. You're allowed to have a voice.
Totally.
Say things, but it's just kind of getting out there and doing it.
Yeah. As much as I hate retail, it helped me grow so much.
Yeah, it really did.
It's what the heck?
It made me have a lot more respect for people who work retail, and that's their job.
Yep.
They're committed to this, and
100%.
I go in the store and they don't say they don't have what I want. I'm not gonna go and yell at them for it.
No.
I've been on the receiving end. It's not enjoyable. You can't say anything back to them.
It's the one time when I was in produce, this guy was these lemons, you guys said the sign for large lemons, and there just aren't large lemons. I was like, this is what we got. He literally threw the lemons on the lemon thing and was like, this is bullshit, and stomped off. I'm like, there's nothing, like what am I supposed to do, go pick some lemons? Like,
yeah, well, it's like same thing with the people like that. It's like, just because you're having, like, I understand you're having a bad day, everybody has bad days, like,
totally,
but learning from that, I'm definitely not as willing, like, if I go to work, I'm not going to go and lash out at people at work because I'm having a shitty day. It's not, like, everybody goes through their own shit, like, I understand, but it doesn't mean you have to get mad at me because we don't have what you want.
Yeah, like, literally, like, we can order it in and give me a couple days, like.
Yeah, exactly, but it's just kind of a time and place. I found most people who are like that, it's just like something that like just happened or something.
Totally, like,
so they kind of bring it to you, and then it makes you angry because they are angry at you. And
literally, it's like the chain of screaming.
Yeah, I learned to kind of just kind of cut it off there. If someone's mad, and just kind of let it go and move forward with it. That's a big thing. Not continuing to be mad after.
Totally. But then now you like to play hockey. You're a big hockey guy.
Yes.
So you play in a beer league.
I did play in a beer league.
Okay.
The team that I was on, how was that, 2-3 years ago, folded. A lot of people like moving away, jobs, stuff like that, like different opportunities. Understandable, like not everybody can stick around. And then now, actually, I'm wearing the sweater for it.
Nice.
It's just like a tournament team. There's the one, they do like the Tubbers tournaments in town, stuff like that.
Yep.
We haven't gone anywhere crazy because I know there's some, in like Campbell River in Victoria, they do some big like casual tournaments and stuff like that people can go play in.
Okay.
But nothing crazy, but that's my hockey right now. The odd drop in, kind of stick and puck, mess around thing. But
yeah.
Besides that, nothing crazy.
So who's your favorite team?
Now I know, because I'm on the West Coast, I get a lot of flack for this, but I'm a Leafs fan.
Really? Okay. My roommate Dylan was a big Leafs fan too, so
I respect it. I like it.
No judgment here.
I like it. Well, it's just born there.
It totally makes sense, right?
Born and bred, can't help. I didn't have a choice.
At least you're not like my dream, and he's like, "Go Boston." I'm like, "Oof."
You need to get your hair checked.
I don't even watch hockey, but that's
a big oof.
It's a big oof, yeah, totally. Yeah, I always give him a hard time about it, especially when the Canucks beat Bruins like it was like 8-4 or something stupid this
year.
Like
recently?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, so you watched that game the other day? It's just like, fuck off.
Yeah. It's like with most fans though, like, especially like if it's like a team like that, you get way more out of it if you kind of razz them about it, say if something like that happens.
Totally.
Where like I know a lot of people, because everybody thinks not all Leafs fans, but a majority of Leafs fans are like these uptight.
Yeah, like
we're better than everybody.
Yeah.
We are the gods. We made this. But like I definitely used to be a little bit more like my team's the best. I don't like anybody else. But like you kind of grow up, I guess.
Yeah, like
I can't really be that bad. I remember when Vancouver was really good
in like 2010,
in like 2010 and all that. All I would hear, because the Leafs were really bad, and all I would hear is how good. I couldn't even wear a Leafs jersey without just being like yelled at. I was like, oh my god, give me a break! I'm in high school, leave me alone.
That's awesome.
God, it's a good. I love the sport, but some of the times it's just too funny.
Sports bring out like a weird energy from people.
Definitely, especially. Well, it's so different. I find because like I have English parents.
Yeah.
So I'm used to I hear stories from my dad of like the soccer games and stuff like that, like back in the 60s and stuff like that when he was watching. It's so different compared to here though. Like you get like a different type of person, but there's not a lot of like conflict between people. They'll like shout at the screen,
like whatever. Yeah,
but there's not. But like there's so much like actual. If you're in the wrong part of the stadium, you will get beat up.
Really?
Yeah, you'll get like. Or worse, but they take it like
pretty seriously.
Blood, like that's my blood and soul out there. It's crazy, just hearing some of the stories, and you can even look it up. Some of
totally
like the riots and stuff like that, just because your team lost. Well, Vancouver isn't a good exception to that.
Yeah.
Sorry, didn't mean to bring that up.
Too soon.
I know it's crazy. It's just, but I do agree. It does bring out a different type of person I guess they're kind of living through it.
Yeah, like you get caught up in like the moment and like.
Well, yeah, I remember that. Well, with the Leafs, like in the playoffs, like that hasn't happened a lot in recent years, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But like when they're in, I'm yelling and screaming at the TV, and then I kind of sit down after. I'm like, what am I doing?
What am I doing? Like this?
Like, they can't even hear me.
Yeah, like.
But yeah, I get pretty worked up and stuff like that, which is just from playing hockey for so long and then watching people. It's like, why do you do it like that? And it's like, but you're a professional athlete, and I'm sitting on the couch drinking a beer.
Literally, like it's like. I can't be giving you advice, like.
Exactly.
And it's like it's totally crazy because you have a whole different perspective, right? Because you can watch it, you're seeing like the stadium, so you're like, look out, bud, there's a guy on the left, and then.
Yeah. But then you gotta kind of put your. I found if you played the sport, you're a lot more. You're a lot more like laid back with it because you kind of put yourself in their shoes.
Yeah, totally.
Like, what is he looking at? What like I can see everything.
Yeah.
So I know it's kind of like, oh, if you did this, then you would have been fine. But how do they know that? They can't see the guy back out of their head.
Totally, right? And it's like the heat of the moment or whatever. So you have to make like that split second decision.
Yeah, like especially from like playing hockey for so long, or even like sports in general. It happens so fast. Like you don't think it does, but it really does happen. Like so one little move can make that much of a difference. It's crazy. And people yelling, screaming, and so forth, and go on and on.
Mm-hmm. That's cool, man. I'm glad you still play hockey.
Yeah, when I can.
When you can. I mean, like I know school's keeping you pretty occupied.
Yeah, I gotta get rid of the gut. Gotta keep it down somehow.
That's cool. I mean, so how often how are you trying to find like another beer league team to kind of play on, or aside from just like the tournaments?
I'd like to. Obviously, I'd like to play again, or play like more consistently. It's nice going out like every once a week and just kind of mess around, and it's like somewhat competitive. But in Nanaimo, they have there's like a casual league for people, obviously out of high school and all that, and just want to play hockey, but they never played like anything crazy. It was like house hockey, or they just started playing. Yeah. Like they picked it up at like 20 or 25 or whenever. Some people pick it up at 40.
Yeah.
But that's like, but they're super organized.
Oh, cool.
They have ratings and all that. But it's a very niche league. Like if you've played any sort of competitive hockey at any point, you won't be able to play.
Oh, really?
They have they want to keep it like those kind of players. If you start letting the really good people in, it kind of discourages the people who aren't as good.
I guess so.
Unfortunately, like it's not the intent, but I could see why. Because like if you have this person skating around you every like 30 seconds, they're just kind of casually going and scoring. Yeah. What makes you want to do it more? Like
totally.
So there's that, and then there's the rec league, which is a bit of a gong show. But a lot of people who played really good hockey and still think they're gonna make it. So it's a lot of, it gets super competitive. Yeah. And when you're working the next day or you have school, last thing you want to do is like get hurt or like get in a fight with somebody over like the stupidest thing. But it's just like everybody's so worked up because they all played that kind of competitive sport growing up. So
makes sense.
It makes sense, but it's kind of like, it's not worth hurting myself over this. Like I don't want to get hurt doing this.
Totally.
I'm here to have fun, but some people take it way more, but that's with anything. Even the casual league does that too. Yeah, there's always one.
There's always that one guy. Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's like I see these dodgeball Facebook ads all the time. Mm-hmm. I definitely want to sign up for that. And
like the co-ed? Was it a co-ed?
Yeah, I think it was a co-ed one. Which, I mean, I'd love me some dodgeball.
That would be pretty cool, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
You get like a good team going, but then but the same thing with that, people would get super fired up about it.
Oh yeah, I would be one of those guys.
Headband on.
Oh, I have one. I was tight not be like fired up.
I'd definitely be one of those people doing that.
Be one of those guys that get hit and just hums the ball if they're going to swim. Fuck!
It didn't hit
me. Ref, you didn't see that, did you? No, because I'm not out.
Just go through a dodgeball montage of training and just like the movie.
Exactly. Start throwing wrenches. Dodge wrench, you can dodge a ball. It's pretty simple.
On the best team. You're not allowed to cry.
Totally, man. Yeah, it's something I've definitely been interested in checking out because it's like if you get a team of 10 people and you split like the whole team cost between everybody, it's like $50 a person.
Well, it's like that. There's a lot of sports I found in Nanaimo at least. Like there's a 7-a-side soccer.
Yeah,
like that's pretty like casual. Even if you didn't play a lot growing up, it's not like you're gonna get blown away by everybody who's there.
Yeah.
Like not everybody likes soccer, but like that would be something. Me personally, I'd do that. Like I haven't played in
years.
A long time.
Since like high school.
Yeah. But there's different. There's like drop-in hockeys. There's like those. There's really like a lot of that sort of stuff. It's just you got to kind of look for it. Kind of all over Woods go around there around the park. They usually have all the posters up and stuff like that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But Toby, I just wanted to thank you for coming on the show. It was
not a
pleasure to have you.
I'm glad I could talk.
Definitely, man. So where can the people find you? I know you have a sweet Instagram.
Oh god, spam a lot on Instagram. Not anymore though.
No,
started to tone it down a bit.
You got some good photos on there. The one you posted today with the hockey puck.
That's an oldie. I've been saving that for a while.
That's a good one.
Instagram probably tparns88.
Okay, perfect.
That's about like I have a Twitter, but it's not. I don't post any funny memes or anything like that, so probably don't want to go there.
Fair enough.
And Facebook, just Toby Parnell. I guess if you really want to add me, you can. Cool. Probably question who you are. But by all means, you're allowed to.
You feel free to throw the ad. Doesn't mean you'll get the accept.
Yeah, throw a follow on the Instagram though. I need the followers up a bit.
Yeah, get them up. You can find me at Koryzma on just about anything except for Snapchat. I still haven't made that yet, but working on it. Not really. I don't know if I'll use Snapchat enough.
Well, if you're doing,
I guess maybe
some of the other stuff come along, then
yeah, actually, it might not be a bad idea. And then don't forget to, if you like, hit that subscribe button. Check out the other videos, and you'll be able to, don't forget to like, comment, share, all that other jazz. And then don't forget to check out the other stuff. I mean, it's this coming out. This will be out on Friday. So this will be out when all the new stuff. So check out the vlogs, check out the new podcast, Rumble in the Jungle, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks.